In today's program, food service facilities. Where in Almaty, Baku, and Bishkek, you can enjoy the great feast.
Здравствуйте. По разным оценкам, каждый человек в среднем...
Hello. According to various estimates, in 1 year, a person consumes on average more than 1 ton of food and water. Every day, each of us spends several hours eating. As a result, it takes about 2.5 years to eat for a lifetime. Moreover, you can have a meal both at home and away, and this happens more often. But there are still food establishments that do not lose their relevance in spite of any economic crises and natural disasters. And today we will tell you about several of such institutions that are located in different cities. Each of them has its own format, its own menu, its own traditions. But what unites them is that they are filled with people who within the walls of these places feel themselves at home.
И каждый из них чувствует себя там, как дома. Говорят, Баку – это просто рай для гурманов.
They say that Baku is just a paradise for gourmets. There is an old tradition in the city to visit a cafe or a restaurant at least once a week to spend a great time and have a good meal. There are many places to eat in Baku for every taste. Although the local Azerbaijani cuisine is always in trend because it's so rich that it will take a lot of time to try and appreciate all the dishes. It's important to know that many catering establishments in Baku have a rather interesting and peculiar format. And right now, we will take a short excursion along the streets of the Azerbaijani capital and visit some unusual and original cafes. In an age when the virtual world replaces the real, people are increasingly becoming nostalgic for many things of the past years. And such a need often becomes the object of attention of marketers. For example, of the food service. Nowadays, almost everyone who is involved in this industry is eager to open a cafe, a restaurant, which would differ not only with delicious food, but also the regional atmosphere. In Baku, over the past few years, many different institutions have appeared. Having visited one of them, you involuntarily find yourself in the world of the last century. Once you visit others, you plunge into the unusual world of artistic images. Everyone knows that many episodes of Leonid Gaidai's famous comedy The Diamond Hand were shot in the old part of Baku. Here on the street, the hero Yuri Nikulin slipped, fell, and uttered the proverbial phrase, "Damn it." Since then, this place has become a favorite and one might say extremely popular with tourists from many countries. Thanks to this, one of the residents of the house decided to open a cafe where in the famous film it used to be a pharmacy.
Kafemiz 2 ildir açılıb. Bu ideya əslində bizdən çoxdan.
Our cafe has been working for 2 years now. Actually, it was a long time ago when we came up with this idea. We have been living on the street where the movie was shot 40 years ago, and my father decided to open a cafe. We have noticed a big interest in this place among people from post-Soviet space, so I have decided to open this kind of cafe. Most of our clients are from Russia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine. We have placed models of the movie characters. We are broadcasting The Diamond Hand on the screens. There are many pictures of the movie. It is all interesting for the visitors. Being here, it's involuntarily striking that the owners of the establishment put their whole soul into it and tried to do everything so that each guest could plunge into the atmosphere of the film and, of course, smiled.
Какая-то ностальгия, вы знаете, в этом месте есть.
There's so much of nostalgia here.
Ностальгия, что-то про
Nostalgia for the Soviet time,
про этот юмор,
sense of humor that used to be popular back then.
популярный. Да, вот такое.
This is a place from another century.
Какого-то другого века. Что-то такое, да.
If you remember the film The Diamond Hand, then according to the plot, Semyon Semyonovich Gorbunkov, strolling through a foreign city, slipped on a watermelon peel and fell. And it is clear that everyone who came here necessarily takes a picture, crouching on the pavement and stretching his leg, like the hero of Yuri Nikulin. As for the phrase "damn it," it is the exact name of the main dish of this cafe. old wall clocks, vinyl records, cathode ray tube televisions, toys. Everything here resembles museum exhibits because all these items are from the 90s of the last century. All of them create a special atmosphere and involuntarily bring the old times back.
Daha çox tələbələr, necə deyim, 90-ların uşaqları.
Most of the visitors of our cafe are students and people of middle age. Sometimes big families visit our cafe. Things that you see here were part of our collection. Then my friend and I decided to establish this kind of cafe. It's quite hard to manage a cafe without cigarette smoke, alcohol, or Wi-Fi. At the beginning we thought that it would work out, but over time this place has been loved by many.
Gedəcəyini düşünmürdüm, amma sağ olsun sevildi. Bunu da bizi sevindirdi.
According to Raj Aslanov, the idea of such an institution was not born by chance, although there was a certain risk in it. Nowadays, many have gone headlong into social networks. It seems that they simply do not see anyone in front of them and communicate only with their smartphone. In other words, we are losing real-life communication. Although people are in one place, they are far from each other. That's why Raja and his companion decided that there would be no Wi-Fi in their cafe. Their institution should serve a real communication. Oddly enough, but the idea received a response from the Baku citizens, and every day there are many visitors. But in this cafe, it's nice to watch how very young people with curiosity examine the interior, which is decorated with objects of different years. For example, old cameras, tape cassettes, things you will not see anywhere. In a word, the journey to the past is guaranteed.
Daha çok içki, soyuq və isti içkilər.
We serve cold and hot drinks. This place is more suitable for getting together with friends rather than for dinner or lunch. Or you can come on your own and spend good time in a pleasant atmosphere. And this aura is created by old things which are 34 years old. At the beginning, we didn't have a lot of old things. Over time, we collected them. We even got them from visitors who came to us. It seems fair to say that this place created itself. It has started its life and created the atmosphere and aura. We have a different idea. This place is for those who want to hide from daily routine, who want to feel the spirit of the past. These people feel comfortable here. And it's true. Even those who came here by accident begin to feel the very comfort that their fathers and grandfathers were once able to create in their homes. Here, even the music is special, exclusively hits of the past. And now let's look at another interesting and popular place. It's really unusual. And all because one of the new trends in food service. It is tea time or lunch in the company of animals. In this cafe, cats create a pleasant aura. Many people know that these animals have a beneficial effect on humans. That's why visitors enjoy their company.
7 pişik var. Hamısı da
We have 7 cats in our cafe. They used to be homeless. We gave them shelter. Definitely they were checked by the veterinarian. They have all necessary vaccines. They're all healthy. The interest in them is growing. Mostly, people come here after work to relieve stress.
stres atmaq üçün.
There are some certain rules in the cafe. For instance, it's not allowed to come here with toddlers. Kids are still kids and they can hurt animals. Also, in the cafe, they pay attention to the cat's rest, so it's strictly forbidden to wake up the cats if they're sleeping. Also, it's not allowed to feed cats from the table or bring cats food.
Ve pişiləri sevirəm. Buradakı pişiklər
I love cats. They are so playful here. It's nice to spend time with them. I often come here with my friends.
maraqlandım, gəldim dostlarımla bura.
Özüm bəyənib pişiklərə və itlərə çox marağım var.
I really like animals. I want to get a cat. Cats already got used to people here. They play with pleasure.
Hər şey yaxşı idi. Pişiklər çox oynamağı sevirlər yəni.
Unfortunately, it's simply unrealistic to cover even 1/100th of food establishments of Baku within one report. But it's clear that here anyone will be able to find a cafe or a restaurant where they can have a delicious meal, spend good time and have memories of an amazing place for a long time.
Те, кто бывал в Бишкеке,
Those who have been to Bishkek know that the summer is hot there, although it's hard to say that the summer is unbearable there. And this is because the city is surrounded by greenery. There are many different park areas, ponds, and fountains, and there are even special food establishments in which it's nice to eat on hot days. Although even during other seasons, they're not empty. Despite the fact that there are plenty of food establishments in the capital of Kyrgyzstan, there are those that are especially popular with both locals and tourists. And now we will talk about one very colorful, cozy, hospitable tea house. Beautiful trees, interesting monuments, interiors, and much more give every guest an opportunity to get acquainted with the life, culture, and traditions of the Kyrgyz people. Here you can eat, take a walk, and enjoy the fresh air. From ancient times, it was believed that the tea house is one of the synonyms of the Central Asia. A tea house is the soul and peaceful breathing of the East, an integral part of colorful bazaars and an intimate corner of quiet streets. The word tea house has two components, and it translates only as a tea room. Tea meals, relaxation of soul and body, many hours of holding a teacup in your hands, this is a separate page in the history and culture of the Eastern people, and it can be described endlessly. Kyrgyzstan is one of the countries which is famous for its rich culture and traditions. The main tradition here is hospitality. Each of our handmade items here shows the history of our nomad nation. As you can see, every corner is filled with terme, keys, and alakis. It is known from history that for many centuries, any good tea house was in demand all year round. In winter, this was a place where people warmed themselves with hot tea, and during the sultry summer, they saved themselves from the heat thanks to, again, a hot tea. Fortunately, the modern tea house has not changed its centuries-old traditions. The modern look of any tea house is significantly different from what it was before, and the service these days is different. Coal-fired samovars have long been replaced by electric kettles. But it's gratifying that the national flavor has not disappeared. It has remained the same. Well, how could it be without the trestle beds covered with corpé by the canal or pond with cool water, quail singing, the atmosphere of unhurried oriental hospitality, hot tea from beautiful teacups, and of course, different sweets. Our traditional Kyrgyz cuisine is rich with wide range of dishes and drinks and quite unique way of cooking. Also, we offer a range of European, Eastern, and Japanese cuisines. A comfortable couch is made of natural wood. Walls are made of clay. They invite you to have a pleasant time and take a rest. It's possible to dive into Asian history of Kyrgyz traditions and lifestyle. This place is designed for 1,020 seats, and it's not small. But for some reason, no one is surprised that there is no free space here. It means that it's always crowded. It's because everyone knows that if you come here, you would stay here at least for a few hours. Everybody loves this place's atmosphere, and the meal is always pleasant and memorable. And if you come here once, you will definitely come back here over and over again. A lot of tourists visit us. Foreign guests come here to taste our unique national cuisine. It's very delicious here. We serve tasty bishparmak, kurdak, and many other dishes. Here you merge with the nature. I actually think so. When you get tired of the city, you come here and relax. It's the main thing nowadays, to relax and have a delicious meal. But that's not all. Near the tea house, there are no less cute and attractive objects made in the national style. This is a Kyrgyz cultural and ethnographic complex consisting of 7 yurts. This town is just surrounded by greenery. Here, guests are immersed in a special and unique atmosphere of the traditional life of the Kyrgyz people. Caught in this oasis, it's hard to leave this place. And here is the Aykol Ordo. Some argue that this is the largest yurt in the world. At the same time, others say this is debatable, as there are bigger ones in neighboring countries. Nevertheless, it is a unique yurt in Bishkek, where events of various levels are held. I would like to draw your attention to the fact that everything here is decorated with national ornaments and impresses with its special and original beauty. In addition to this, the Asian folk flavor is organically combined with elements of modernity. The complex of several tens of hectares, as you already understood, is made strictly in the national style using modern technologies. And it's very important that handicraft and such traditional materials as koshma, felt, and wood, Kyrgyz ornaments have survived to this day and still do not lose its relevance. In this huge ethno-complex, all the features of lifestyle, traditions, culture of nomadic Kyrgyz people are observed, and each yurt here is in fact a unique work of art. By the number of restaurants and their quality, Almaty continues to be a leader in Kazakhstan, and not only. Recently, I got acquainted with the results of a sociological survey, and it turned out that the city is regularly among the 3 strongest cities of the CIS, and its restaurant business industry is rated as one of the most successful and popular in the entire post-Soviet space. Indeed, it's simply unrealistic to imagine Almaty without numerous cafes, restaurants, bars, pubs, sushi bars, coffee houses, snack bars, and canteens. Here in this regard, there is everything for every taste, and on every corner. And as you know, the competition in this industry is fierce. Some can handle it and leave the market, while others immediately come in their place. New formats in the field of food service constantly appear, and many of them are becoming popular and successfully developed. According to statistics, the most competitive sphere of business in Almaty is food service industry. If we rely on some figures, then there are more than 3,000 different facilities in the city. It turns out that there are 566 people for one of these facilities on average. In general, the majority of residents of Almaty are real gourmets and connoisseurs of pleasant time. Thank God, here you can choose a place for every taste and budget. It's no secret that on the gastronomic map of the city you can find Kazakhstan, Russia, Japan, China, India, and France. And for sure, there are Korea, Italy, Spain, and Vietnam. And let's not forget about Ireland, Mexico, Greece, Uzbekistan, Ukraine, and at least hundreds of other countries. But the most popular cuisine is, of course, our local one. There are many different establishments in the city where you can immerse yourself in a purely national atmosphere. In addition to this, in each such restaurant or cafe, you can have, for example, kurdak, beloved by many, prepared according to their special recipe. This also applies to other dishes. In one place, bağırsak, for example, is made taking into account the traditions of the northern part of the country, in others, purely according to traditions of southern or western regions. And right now, we want to invite you to the suburbs of Almaty, where in the foothills of the Zaylisky Alatau, there is a wonderful entertainment complex where Almaty residents and its guests usually come to visit one of several restaurants. However, not only that, this is a whole village in which there is a lot of activity both day and night. We were lucky because we accidentally met the owner of all these 10 hectares of land and learned firsthand how he came up with the idea of creating such an unusual Kazakh aul. I always wanted to create something in the national style, but I wanted it to be both traditional and modern at the same time. Once I found this piece of land, we started to build and develop our business. While our Kazakh traditions are the cornerstone of our business, we still try to be different from other places that are working nowadays and even used to exist in the past. First of all, we created a cultural center here, where one can relax and communicate with people. The interior is made in traditional and national motifs, which we are very proud of. There are really many things to see and try. For instance, horse riding. Someone likes to walk through a shady alley, communicate with animals and birds living in the local foothills. You can take a fishing rod and then cook kebab or a fish soup. Or why not retire to the grove and admire the beauty of young birches and firs? Or you can have a great time with a group of friends at a big spa center. As you can see, there are a lot of space and fun on the playground. And if you're a fan of antique things, then it's hard not to pay attention to these old cars and tractors. And where did they find them? While some would prefer to nestle down in a hammock and dive into silence for a while. In addition, we have a lot of small architectural forms in the whole territory, through which we try to express the national traditions and vision. At the same time, these things are modern. In a word, everything here is about revival of age-old traditions. We didn't build it just for one visit to eat dinner and leave. Our guests arrive here, have a rest, and enjoy our traditional things. First of all, these are our yurts, which we try to make as close as possible to the original, so it would meet the requirements of national traditions, but at the same time, they have all modern amenities. All yurts are made in such a way that they are provided with elements of decorations which have been made traditionally, and some antiques. We went specially to auls, to those cities where culture and art are preserved. It was useful for us. When we said what our goal was, we were driven to the houses where they had what we needed, and we bought it from them. And now about food service facilities. After all, as a rule, many people come here to visit one of the several restaurants. For small companies, there are yurts designed for 50, 30, and 15 persons respectively. You can also eat delicious food in such decorated and spacious tents. And this is a banquet hall, which is located in one of the largest yurts in the world. You will be amazed how beautiful, colorful, and large-scale everything is once you are inside. The second question was to represent us to people from different countries and cultures. If we represent them fake materials, they will definitely find out. At the beginning, a person will be amazed as everything here is different, and once he will see it closely, he will see that it doesn't match modern style. And this beautiful and majestic building is also a restaurant, and it's dedicated to a famous historical person, Sultan Baybars. Once I came up with an amazing idea. It's not because he was the Sultan of Egypt, it's obvious. I remember that he used to live right during the times of development of Moresque art.
Мне показалось, что вот объединить что-то такое,
And I thought to combine something about his personality and our culture so that it doesn't contradict one another.
Оно не противоречило одно другому.
Therefore, we built this restaurant, this building, first of all, in the memory of this great man.
В память этому великому человеку,
Of course, if I had more land, then I would try to mark all our ancestors in one way or another, but there is no opportunity and time.
есть всякие возможности, да и время уходит.
I would like to note once again that the gastronomic Almaty is not only a variety of formats, democracy, high-quality service, but also internationality. In the past few years, Georgian cuisine has become a great discovery for many locals, and here is one of the institutions which is located in the very center of Almaty. Already on the way to it, you understand that this is a Georgian restaurant. First of all, because the flag of Georgia hangs above the entrance. Second of all, because you are greeted here with famous welcoming words. Now let's look inside, where the unique Georgian flavor immediately catches your eye, thanks to which this place can be safely called Little Georgia. And all this was done on the initiative of the owner of the restaurant, Samal Tokbolatova. By the way, an honorary citizen of the city of Zistapony, she herself admits that she is in love with this country, where she has many friends. I actually didn't even think too much about it. Once I was offered to do it, I said, why not? I want to open a Georgian cuisine. I have traveled there for 2-3 years to learn how they cook in Kakheti, Imereti, and in the restaurants of Tbilisi. I participated in a lot of workshops. According to Samal, she had to work hard to create an atmosphere of small Transcaucasian country.
Где-то мы взяли из Тбилиси, вот как вы говорите, какие-то тбилисские мотивы.
We took something from Tbilisi style, something from Kakheti. We took Svaneti mountain style, Hunter's Hole and Wine Hole. Everything is divided into different zones here. They all look different. For instance, Batumi Hole is decorated in seaside style.
Мы немножко стилизованы в морском стиле.
But cuisine of the restaurant is mainly Emiratian.
Я поддерживаю больше Эмирити.
I support Emiratian cuisine more. In my restaurant, you will definitely find everything that is cooked in Emirati. We make our own cheese and we make our own wine. We don't buy bread. I think it's a shame to have a restaurant and buy bread from somewhere else. We also make shotis puri ourselves. And the main thing for the restaurant owner and its staff is to maintain the atmosphere of traditional Georgian house, the house which is cozy, rich, warm, and hospitable.
Я больше душевное общение люблю.
I appreciate heartwarming communication to create a special atmosphere. That's why I invited people from Zistapony. They work here, they dance here every weekend, and they work as hostesses. They welcome and seat the guests and join the feasts. In other words, it's like in Georgia, with beautiful Georgian toasts, and they sing songs. Especially for Kazakh TV.
ვერ ვნახედა კარგული ხო გულა მოსხნილი ფიროდი სადა ხარ ჩემო სულიკო გულა მოსხნილი ფიროდი სადა ხარ ჩემო სულიკო.
Well, that's all for today. This was Colors of Asia. See you next time.